What's up, y'all? It's your girl Sang, and today we're gonna be reacting to content from Clown World. So let's jump into it. All right, looks like we have our first video.
Ew, Epic Chungus Morty, Rick and Morty. Meow, 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 meow. Hey, kitten. Ooh. Ew.
What? You know what? I'm not gonna touch it. We're not gonna touch it. Very weird way to start out. Also, if y'all know what's going on with Rick and Morty, the guy, I think he plays Rick, Justin. I think he plays Rick. This has been a rough week for him. My man came out for domestic violence. Then some other people came out and say he treats his employees like crap behind the scenes and showed all that. Then a bunch of DMs came out from all these women and was like, yo, he was hollering at me when I was a teenager. And then they went and pulled up the DMs because people was like, oh, anybody could fake DMs, which is true. If you screenshot some stuff, anybody could fake it. So they took videos of their phones where they were scrolling, hit his profile link at the top, went to his Instagram or Twitter page, wherever he DM'd them on, and it said they had blocked him, and they pressed view tweets, and it pulled it up, and it was his page. It was like, yo, this is crazy. And then somebody brought up the podcast link where he said something like very pedo-ish on that podcast. Man, I can't watch it no more. My man's ruined that show for me. Just like I can't watch Smallville no more because the chick that played Chloe, all I see now is a sex trafficker. It's messed up. Oh, if you guys don't know what's going on with this is the cop, I think it's from Tennessee, where basically she was having sexual relations with the whole department, basically. But it says, exclusive, cop gone wild Megan Hall was already on her final warning for crashing her patrol car repeatedly. What are we talking about? During her 2 years in the force, as records show, one of her many police lovers had been suspended for previous sexual misconduct. Yo, what's going on in Tennessee? What's going on with y'all police force? This is crazy. Usually cops be in the news because it's like, oh no, another black man got shot. We gotta defund the police. And Tennessee was like, oh, are you guys interested in some Pornhub material? Applying the facts of what we know of both Biden and Trump's document sagas, including yesterday's consent search of Biden's residence, to DOJ's past practice, yields two clear conclusions. Trump should be prosecuted. Biden should not. L take. Biden, look, if y'all don't know what's going on, for whatever reason, they were searching Biden's residence. They never came out and said why they were searching his residence, but upon searching his residence, they keep finding documents and folders from not only his time as vice president with Obama, but also when he was a senator. So it's like, why do you have all these classified documents at your house when you shouldn't have them to begin with? You were never president during any of these time periods. Why do you have them? That's the big question. So what's been happening is a bunch of liberals are just like, oh, they're probably planted and, we still got to get Trump and whatnot. It's like, yo. If we're going to be fair, if you guys want to prosecute Trump so bad because you found documents down at Mar-a-Lago, Biden should get the same treatment. Just to be real with you, it's like, you can't do this to one side and then look at your own and be like, it's okay, it's Biden. Y'all probably planted it on him. He didn't mean to take it. No. You gotta play by the rules. You're gonna punish one, you need to punish the other. Oh, we got another one. You have to prove Biden had legal possession. Just having them in your house doesn't cut it. Nothing in the facts indicates Biden had possession of the documents. So, should we also have to prove that Trump had legal possession? Just having them in his house doesn't cut it? Like I said, you gotta be fair across the board. You can't... These people are insane. Here we go. More than 2/3 of hospitals still use outdated COVID restrictions to stop patients from seeing loved ones. That's sad. Especially considering we already know what's going on and it was all BS. Why are you still running them regulations and stuff? Now I think about it, they still do it here where I live. And I'm in a red state. Like this... I guess that don't mean nothing anymore, to be honest with you. But I think the last time I had to take my mom to the hospital, it was they were super big on the masks. I still have some from when I had my last job, but I didn't have like the real mask. It was just a cloth mask. And if you wear that to the hospital, they make you put these blue ones over it because they be like, oh, that's not safe. And it's like, these little blue ones aren't safe either. What are you talking about? They said there was one point in time, I'll never forget this, my last job, that little blue mask, because there was a shortage at the beginning of the outbreak because everybody was just buying masks. So they were like, yeah, you might have to wear your mask a few days in a row. And I was like, yeah, it's not effective at that point anymore. So what's the point? We might as well walk around with no masks on. And a bunch of us said that. And they freaked out. Like the safety team was like, no, you have to wear the mask. You have to wear them or you're getting kicked out. And we're like, it's not even effective anymore. Like after a day, these masks are really just used for like a couple hours for effectiveness. And even then it's not like super effective, but yeah, they were tripping during that time period. All right, here goes some footage from downtown Atlanta. If you guys don't know what's been happening, Antifa incited a night of vengeance and violence because one of their gunmen was shot dead. And the reason he was shot dead is because he shot at a state trooper in Georgia. So, of course, he shot a cop. The cops shot back, but they were more accurate. And they ended up killing him, whereas he just ended up wounding the state trooper. And they destroyed downtown Atlanta, basically.
All right,
here's some
Atlanta.
footage of that.
They done broke into the Wells Fargo.
This is
Ooh, they
sad.
ruthless out here in these streets now. Look
This
at
is
them.
sad.
Damn. They busted the ATM machines. Woo, Atlanta, get it together, Atlanta. All right.
There's more footage. There's like, they set cars on fire. They shot into more business. They just destroyed all of downtown Atlanta. Because they shot at a cop, and one of their people, the one that shot at the cop, died. It's like, what did you think was going to happen? You shot at a cop. And it's crazy because, like, CNN and them, that when they were down there, I swear on y'all, they better have the footage on here so I can show y'all. The guy was talking, and he was just like, you know, it's a very peaceful protest going on right now. And there's, like, literally a cop car on fire right behind. And he's, like, trying to guide the camera guy to look back at him. And the camera guy's just, like, off, looking at all the fire and destruction that's happening right behind him. And he's like trying to guide him back. And he's like, yes, very peaceful protests going on right now. Nothing's really happening. And it's like, bro, this is like, what are you talking about? It was like mass destruction. And then you could hear the gunshots go off in the background. It was wild. It was wild. And then there was another guy, I think it was like CNN as well. He's in his hotel room. He's just like, I don't know why they're saying the people down here are so violent. And it's just, you know, everything's been super peaceful here. The only violence is really just coming from the police officers. And who was ever in the control room, they must have hated that guy. Because the B-roll footage next to him was just showing all the destruction happening and playing out. Oh, it was so funny. It was so funny. It just shows you can't trust media. You can't trust media at all, because if those videos never made it to Twitter and like the independent YouTube outlets of like journalists and stuff, media would have really had you believing it was the most peaceful protest in the world and they were protesting an angel and whatnot. Nah. Yep, and this is how the world is getting more and more crazy. Don't use the word mummy. It's offensive to ancient Egyptians. Oh, wow. British Museum bans age-old expression out of respect for 3,000-year-old dead. So how did y'all come to the conclusion that it was offensive to ancient Egyptians? What ancient Egyptians were y'all talking to? I'm sorry, did you just pull up one day, you was in the museum just looking at like the... You're just looking at the tombs, or just like, you don't like being called a mummy, do you? It hurts your feelings, don't you? And it's just a tomb, so it's like... And in their mind, they're just like, I know, we're not going to call you that anymore. I promise, we're never going to say that to you. And then you wonder why we call these people psychos. Yo, hold this L. There's nothing wrong with being a fan of Trump, okay? But you got a Trump tramp stamp, and you're a man. Yo, my guy. He had to have lost a bet. there's no way your friends looked at you and was like, yeah, bro, that's a great idea. Even as the tattoo artist, I would have to be like, bro, I can't do this to you. You're going to have to pay somebody else, because why do you want a Trump tramp stamp? The tramp stamps are already bad. This is old. But these women do this all the time. They also made like a punch bowl. They put punch in their toilet. I gotta get off screen. There's another one where they were hosting a party and they put punch in a toilet bowl and served it in cups and handed it out to the guests. And before they took a sip, the guest was like, "Ooh, y'all made some punch," and they were like, "Yeah, we did it in the toilet." It was coming to their lips, and they immediately stopped, and they were like, "What?" And everybody just kind of put their cups down, and the women were like, "It's not a big deal," and they were just drinking. It's so gross. It's so gross. Yo, this has to be a joke. This has to be satire. This has to be satire. It says, men, if a woman accuses you of ARP, even if you didn't do it, you shut up and accept the charges. Women have been systematically oppressed for years, and you giving up some years of your freedom doesn't compare to the oppression they've been through. L take. No. This has to be a joke. This is a joke, right? Is this a satire account? Oh, they even took the woman's name off of this. No, I gotta go to the comment section. There's no way this is real. I don't know. Somebody said it's been around for years, but nobody knows if it's real or not. I really hope that's fake. I really hope that's fake. Alright, so all it said for this video, it just said, "This is crazy."
Now I am walking out, and they cannot take it out of the box at the register, so they have to take it out at the door. Isn't this lovely? 2023, welcome to California. Now I am walking out.
I'm not shocked. That just means this Walmart is in a high theft area. And then they also mentioned Cali, so you definitely in a high theft area. And I know some people will see this and be like, but it's makeup remover. I know. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I know why Walmart's doing it. There used to be a Walmart, and what was it? It was like 15 or 20 minutes from my house. Not there anymore because it was a high theft area, and they were just like, yo, y'all gonna keep stealing. We're leaving. So Walmart bounced, right? But it got to the point where stupid stuff like that was locked up. So when you would first walk in, the men's clothing area was to your left as soon as you walked in. Yeah, you know what was locked up in those little containers? Socks, underwear, wife beaters, white t-shirts, boxers. Because the guys in that area were just stealing that heavy. Made no sense. Then you go further along the store where you get like hair product, like shampoo and all that, toothpaste, things of that nature, deodorant. The condoms were locked up. The lube was locked up. The black hair care products were locked up. Not the white hair care products. Specifically, I swear on everything, it was just all the black hair care products. And I'm like, we've got to this point. Now, to be fair, it was a very heavily black area, so I get why the other stuff wasn't touched. But like, that was the stuff that was locked up outside of what you expect to be locked up, you know, like certain electronics and video games. It's sad when you get to the point where it's like, it's just little makeup removal towels. They're like, yep, they've been stealing them. Here you go, have a nice day. All right, guys, because it's getting a little bit long, we're going to be ending it with this. If you don't know what's going on, San Francisco wants to give Black Americans $5 million for reparations. Now, there's a lot of stipulations and stuff that goes with that, and we can talk about that on live or in a video if you want to, but let's get into the video.
San Francisco. The city's African American Reparations Advisory Committee presented proposals to city leaders last month, and we're getting some details now. According to the Chronicle, one proposal would be a lump sum reparations payment of $5 million to each eligible person. Residents must be 18 at the time the committee's proposal is enacted and have identified as Black or African American on public documents for at least 10 years. They also have to prove they were born in the city between 1940 and 1996, have lived in San Francisco for at least 13 years, and be someone or the direct descendant of someone incarcerated during the war on drugs. The committee will submit its final proposal to city leaders in June. This is gaining nationwide attention.
It's really interesting. So I just did a little breakdown to think about how many people this could be. And I know this number isn't it, but just so that we can paint a picture of the numbers in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So this is the Census Bureau from 2020, 392,000 white people, about 300,000 people that identify as Asian American, 132,000 Hispanic, 44,000 Black in San Francisco. That is pretty small.
It's a really low number.
Really low number. And then you have to think about all of these requirements. So many people, especially in San Francisco, we know are transplants.
Right.
Also may not be descendants of slaves, may not have been born within these parameters. Like when you really get down to all these requirements, I'm curious how many people that.
Not a lot. Not a lot. It's crazy. So like she said, with all those crazy requirements, you have to be a descendant of a slave. Okay, cool. One of your ancestors had to have been incarcerated during the war on drugs. What does that have to do with anything? It's like, so what if I met all the requirements? Say I was born between, it said 1940 to 1996. So say I live in San Francisco, I meet that requirement. Say I am the descendant of a slave, which I probably am, right? But based on what I know from my mom's side of the family, more than likely I am. So we're gonna check that box off too, right? Then it's just like, now say I match that, but my family had nothing to do with getting locked up during the war on drugs. So now you just be like, ooh, you hit every box but that one, no $5 million for you. They know what they're doing. They were never going to give this money up, and I feel like it's going to be an extremely small percentage that even get this. I promise you it's going to be the smallest amount of people out of that 40,000 that even touch this. I'll say it right now, it's going to be under 100. It's going to be under 100. It's probably going to be under 20. I'm calling it right now, under 20. Under 20. Put your bets up. Just put it in the comment section. I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I will see you here at 7 p.m. for tonight's live stream. We have to go over the Church of God restoration. We're going to be looking at some of those videos because I have to double check with him, but it's still looking like that the kid is going to come on for the interview on Tuesday. I have to do a quick check-in with him once I'm done with this. And then also the whole Steven Crowder thing, because I had mentioned that in today's Let's Address the Comments, right? A few of you, I responded back to one of you, but then Kit Kat, I don't want to mess your name up. But I swear on everything. I had wrote, because you wrote me a paragraph, I wrote a paragraph back to respond to you, and then, like, nothing. My whole screen, I don't know how this happened. I'm going to show y'all right here. Y'all see how everything is on my screen right now? Like, you can see Twitter and all this. Tell me why the whole screen went white. Mind you, obviously I wasn't on Twitter. I was responding to her on YouTube. The whole screen went white. And I'm just like, what is this? I didn't know what to do because I'm like, and then there was no undo button. And then when I went back, going back took me to Google. I go back into YouTube. Of course, my comment's not there. I was like, you know what? We'll just talk about it real quick on the live stream tonight and go from there. Speaking of Steven Crowder, he's going on Timcast tonight. I actually saw his tweet. I can actually show y'all real quick. But he's going on Timcast. And I believe it's at 8 o'clock, so it's going to be like an hour after we start, right? Yeah. He says, all questions will be answered tonight at 8 p.m. EST on Timcast. You don't want to miss it. Obviously, I start at 7, so I'm going to just keep looking at the time because obviously we can tap in and watch that together as a unit to hear his side because here's my whole thing with this. We had his video. Then Daily Wire came on and said, hey, it was us. And then we had his second video, and then it was nothing, right? And I'm pretty sure it was nothing because he probably was going on Timcast. But some of the things, not what the first person said, but Kat, I'm gonna just call you Kat. I know it's like Kit Kat or something, but there was something you had said where I'm just like, who said that? And I know you mentioned the quartering. I watched the quartering too, so I don't know if you had got that from there. There's only one thing I didn't mention this earlier that I didn't get from the video. So we heard when it came down to numbers, we heard from Jeremy Boring that Steven wanted 120, right? Jeremy said he thought they would hit between 7 and 80. He was even willing to go to 100, but he wasn't doing 120, so they stopped negotiations from there. When Steven Crowder dropped his second video and he was like, it's not about the money, it's not about the money. It's like, you sound kind of crazy because he just said you wanted 120, so that sounds like it was about the money. Despite all this other stuff you trying to put out to make it seem like you the good guy and all this other crap, and you're for like the little guy and whatnot. It's like, bro, it's a business at the end of the day. It sounded like it was about the money. So Candace that night had went on Timcast and she was like, he really wanted 140. And Tim was like, yeah, it was 140. So I'm like, where did that number come from? Now, obviously, they all talk behind the scenes. But then Kat had put in her comment, she was like, well, Steven only wanted 80. And I guess you got that from the quartering or something because they talk. If that's true, if the 80th number is true, why didn't they meet on that? Because at that same point, if it really was just about the contract, because it sounds like they never negotiated. It just sounded like, give me this or I'm out. But my thing is, anyways, it's like, bro, you're doing a lot to just go indie. Just go indie. It's not that deep. Just go indie. It didn't work out for you. Maybe this works out for other people. Obviously, other people have taken contracts similar to this, whether it's at Daily Wire or anywhere else, because this is really just a generic term sheet that gets passed back and forth before you make something up. Throughout all media, mind you, all media companies, it's not like they're the only ones doing this. This is standard across the board, right? You don't like it, go indie. It's the same thing in the music industry. This is why I use that as an example during my live stream on Thursday. Very similar to a 360 deal. You don't like the 360 deal, stay indie. Go indie. That's all it is. We'll talk more about it on the live stream at 7 p.m. I'll see y'all in a few hours. Till then, you already know who it is.